4 seconds ago.
Are we recording?
5 seconds in. Okay.
Nice.
All right. Welcome to Great Things Are Simple, right? We would have started like an hour ago.
Peace and love.
Yeah, I don't know about that, bro. Well, no, I mean,
hey, man, don't harsh me.
peace and love are always good things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was messing around for a while trying to get some video settings in the camera. I don't know how to get a lower video quality. I guess Skype chooses whatever it needs to automatically.
I don't know. I think that's the problem that mine was having. It was like the camera has one set of settings, and then Skype is like, fuck your settings.
Yeah, what's up with that? I mean, if I was gonna record me going through all this stuff, I should have started recording like an hour ago, huh?
Perhaps.
Yeah. Anyways, so last week, yeah.
I sure hope I didn't have any homework because I forgot all about it if I did.
Well, I know I had homework.
Yeah, but you know what? Honestly, like there were some things that I kind of wanted to put a little more thought and planning into. I put those on the back burner, but that was kind of cool because instead of worrying about those, I was kind of picking up on stuff throughout the week that I thought would be cool to talk about. So it kind of worked out.
Oh, yeah, awesome. In that case, let's bookmark what I was gonna say and take it away. Like, what do you have?
Oh shit! Now you put me on the spot, and I can't think about anything. I don't know, man.
Does that kind of make me a dick?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so...
Because honestly, dude, I was thinking about all that shit when I was telling you, but now I can't think of anything. I'm sorry. You just put me on the spot and I froze. I choked. I'm sorry.
Okay, so let me find my my notes for this week.
Yeah.
Because I try and just create a folder somewhere.
Yeah.
And bookmark. Oh, is this... Oh, okay, so check this out. Let me see if I can share my desktop again. Okay. I know, that's the craze. That's what all the kids love. What? Desktop sharing.
What the hell is that? Why would I want to share
It's where I share my desktop.
Why?
Okay, so check this out. You see Donald J. Trump Twitter?
Hold on. I'm going to get back on my screen here. Yes, I do.
Okay, so all people that are illegally coming into the United States now will be removed from our country at a later date as we build our removal forces and as the laws are changed. Please do not make yourselves too comfortable. You will be leaving soon.
So
that's
what does
kind
that
of
mean?
A power move.
You think?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Well, honestly, it's like an all-in. I don't know, man. It can. It's just one of those things. He could either be going all in, or it could just be a tremendous bluff, you know? Like, because he could say that, and then they vote him in, and then then he's a lame duck. So.
But check it out. You could do it so much more cost-effectively if you just turned off welfare.
Oh, I don't know, dude.
Like
that's a complicated subject.
Well, no, like there are people that are coming here for benefits, and if they can somehow skirt the system and get benefits in some way, I mean,
well, I didn't hear about
you'd
that.
You'd be naive to think that doesn't happen.
I don't know. I didn't hear about this story. The one I heard about was the one pertaining to basically they were going to set parameters as to basically you would have to have specific skill sets, shall we say? No, but really like certain skills in order to get into the country. So that kind of cuts off unskilled labor.
Yeah, so check this out. This was one of the replies, so national emergency, Trump lies about immigration. We have a barrier, lowest border crossing in 2 decades, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did I ever show you the? Sorry, I did like the Bobby Brady high pitched thing. Did I ever show you?
If you ever start the local fry, I'll punch you through the screen.
But there were some figures that I found about the immigration and the people
Were
coming.
they nude male action figures?
What, new or nude?
Nude. Never mind.
I don't think so. You're scaring me, bro.
You said you found figures. I was trying to figure out.
Oh, like action figures?
Yeah, sorry.
Like, hey, big boy.
Okay.
Uh,
You see us on
no, I believe that's the other one. And that. Okay, so hopefully I got something. No. Man, this is a fail.
It's not your first time, dude.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to think of where I saw it. Where did I see it? Let's see if I can get the good old Google skills going. We'll do, or the DuckDuckGo skills. What was it? It was
What? Dose?
Customs border patrol enforcement. What is it? CB patrol. Yeah, and then we'll do legal. Wow, that's some hardcore searching that I'm doing.
I don't want to bring this up as something to like debate, because we could do that all night probably. Not that I don't think we're dissimilar. I think we're both trying to get to the truth. But anyway, I think I brought him up before. His name is Nick Palmachado, and he's like president or owner of, I don't know. It's a veteran-run business. Anyway, they do this funny show. In fact, I should start sending you the link, because you'll probably find it. The guy's pretty cool, dude, because he's like, you know, most people involved in that community are pretty, like, I don't know, maybe perceived as, like, conservative, but he's actually, like, pretty liberal, but, like, in a sensible way, you know? But anyway, they were talking about it, and it was funny. They did this bit because they brought up the topic, and the one guy was like, you know, kept telling him not to. But anyway, what he was trying to say is that it's almost like, should you have the freedom? Yes, but also at the same time, you have a responsibility to, like, basically what he was saying is there are other countries that do it a lot better than we do and have, like, very low incidence of abortion. So, you know, it was, I don't know, it just made me think about it that way. It's like, well, yeah, because I guess my problem, like, when we were talking about it that night, was taking that step to say that you can't do it, you know?
Okay, so I was listening to something that Molyneux put out recently.
Mm-hmm.
It was some Discord introduction to his channel. And as we're talking, I'm looking for that story about the actual number of cross, because they're actually daunting numbers. And there's a story about just the sheer quantity. Kind of, it's the most it's ever been. But I'm looking for that as we talk about this, and I kind of lost track of what I was doing in both instances.
Thanks for.
Yeah, I know. I'm
It's okay, man.
Tonight, aren't I?
I'm with you, dude. I was just spitballing, you know.
Okay. So there was some notes that I have somewhere. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
No, that. Oh my God! I hope I'm not showing this screen. Yeah, I don't think so. Okay, so I think we need some basic T-shirts that just read like "socialism equals slavery." It just seems to make sense. I don't know. And then last week my homework was to think think of an instance where there was where I would vote. Do you remember that?
You just broke up through that whole.
Oh, awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
So, so last week, my homework was to think of an instance where maybe I would vote to pass a law. Does that sound familiar?
Wait. Yeah. I'm trying to think of the context we're talking about. So make that statement again.
So my idea was if I'm running for office,
Right.
and my platform would be no laws are passed, because if you pass a law, it's one of those things like if a law is passed that I'm allowed to breathe, it's like, well, no, fuck you, I'm breathing, like I'm here.
So wait, in that way, then you would say you would vote against anti-abortion laws?
Like I would vote against the addition of any additional laws. Like the only thing I would vote for would be the repeal of laws.
Right.
Because if government should be as small as possible and ideally non-existent, the only there would be a law that I would vote for if it was something like anything that the government publishes is in an advisory capacity only and should not be taken as fact. Like we can only recommend.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I think we're on the same page.
Yeah. So
my wife told me that Kansas passed something in their state constitution that basically it read that abortion would not be illegal in Kansas. It basically what it said is they were ensuring that it would not be illegal, but not without. There are still going to be like regulations and
there might be repercussions. So
well, but
this
apparently
is what I don't get.
Okay, and here, no, go ahead. This was kind of going to crescendo into when you put me on the spot in the beginning. This was what I wanted to bring up, and it doesn't really have anything to do with abortion. But go ahead, make your point.
Oh no, I'm actually looking for something from Steven Crowder, so you go first.
Okay, so anyway, and I didn't have time because I just heard about it a little while ago. From what she was telling me, she was reading it. Okay, so Kansas basically said we're not making it illegal, and that will basically trump whatever decision would come if Roe v. Wade went back to the Supreme Court, no matter what the outcome. I don't know, it just got me to thinking, because, like, obviously it's a very polarizing subject, right? So then I started thinking about it, and I was like, what if it almost turned into, like, a pre-Civil War situation, and it's going to sound silly, but it's kind of true. Like, just the way things have been going, and, like, over the last how many years, not every time, but every so often you hear, oh, this state is thinking about basically going against everybody else and doing this, or, something like that. But what if, states started doing things like that, like, almost like in defiance, but really not even in defiance of the government, but it just so happened that, lines were formed where this state is staunch anti-abortion, this one is staunch, and it doesn't just have to be abortion, but
I like that.
I know, but I mean, doesn't that seem like a plausible? I'm not saying likely, but I mean, it certainly seems plausible, doesn't it? Because basically, you would have, it would almost be like, kind of like pre-Civil War, because states would be drawing lines based on morality. It wouldn't necessarily be about borders or land or money even, just almost like an ideology, like this state is, traditionally staunchly communist,
Yeah. Yeah.
And this one's
So
conservative.
this is what I don't get. Like, abortion should be looked at as, like, in the best case scenario, a necessary evil. You know,
Yeah. And that's
like,
what I was trying to
and
say.
and 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 like ideally, you steer people away from that option because it's just
Right.
not healthy. You
Right.
know,
And that's what this guy was
where
saying is like there's so many better ways to do it. Like basically his point was women shouldn't feel they have to have abortions. And he kind of went down the list and he said, like even just basic standardized birth control, um, education, like very low cost or free neonatal care, or not,
yeah,
what do they call it? Prenatal, all that stuff basically. Uh, because he says,
all that
unfortunately,
baby stuff.
well, but like he said, which is true, is unfortunately it is a financial issue, not financial necessarily in a money way, but living situation, economic, I guess would be the word. Um, but anyway, and to get us off the abortion thing again, uh,
Yeah, awesome.
back to the thing about states kind of drawing up lines, but at what point are states going to realize that they're better off? Basically, almost like, hey, why are we doing this? Basically, why don't we break off? You know what I mean? Like, branch out on our own. Because we're
Oh
paying all
yeah,
this overhead, you know,
as I
and
saw an article recently about like Illinois kicking Chicago out of Illinois.
right, right.
You know, and like, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's kind of
Well, that'd be like
down
California
the road
kicking
that
Los
you,
Angeles out.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, or I think Los Angeles and San Francisco have kind of looked at each other and said, we have similar values, let's be states unto ourselves, you know, and then the rest of Southern California can feel like they have representation too.
Mm.
But I don't think it would ever
It
happen.
just seems to me like almost that this government is just too big, it's too top heavy, it's too.
If people wanted their voice to be heard, wouldn't, instead of like winner take all for the electoral college, it would be a percentage represent, like
Oh,
a
yeah. I mean,
percentage of who gets what vote,
yeah.
because then California, it would be a much closer race, you
Are you
know.
talking popular vote?
Well, yeah,
Because that's
because
popular vote, right?
yeah, but like ultimately that, like, if you just get 51%, you shouldn't get every single one of California's electoral votes, because a lot of people are essentially being disenfranchised, right?
Right, right.
So wouldn't it seem fair to go with a percentage basis, and then everyone gets their equal say?
Yes, popular vote.
I wonder if well, no, but you could still run it through the electoral college.
But why? I guess my question would be, why do you need the electoral college if it's based on
Because the
percentage?
electoral college is like the mechanism to where they built in like a safety or a buffer to where like very few densely populated areas can't control the whims of the entire country.
Yeah, but isn't the electoral college in and of itself like a unknown? Like, I mean, an unknown variable? Because there's no guarantee that the electoral college will represent the popular vote.
Which is why I want to do away with all of it.
I know that. Well, that's my
You
point.
know, I mean,
Really, it's like,
like
yeah,
that kind of gets us to, in my book, the answer, right?
hmm.
I mean,
Well, but
it
that,
seems
I guess that was my thought. Was, like, it's almost like, realistically, is, the U.S. just too big to run as one major entity. When realistically, wouldn't it be much better off if it was almost like a confederation of states, like a European Union, shall we say? But
Yeah,
really,
well,
like independent states,
but
but
devolving to that, not growing
well,
to
but
that.
it sounds like devolving, but it's almost like not starting over, but kind of resetting to a point that maybe you could, because I guess that's the problem is, like a lot of the things we talk about just the futility of trying to change government because there's just so many facets of it that are, but I mean, if you could just trim the federal, like the majority of the federal, I mean, just trim it down to its, like, honestly, if you can get rid of the, the Supreme Court and the,
Yeah, I'm on it.
I mean, really, your federal government would it be considered a federal government then? Would just be there to maintain militia, army, whatever, and certain other.
Yeah, but I think my idea for open sourcing the police. Do you remember? I think we kind of talked about that last week. I don't think I necessarily gave it a name, but the idea where you could have people in the community be essentially like post certified, like peace. It's like peace officer standards tests or something like that.
Yeah.
And if you have so many people in the community that are like post certified, that you don't need to hire as many police officers. They are essentially a neighborhood's backup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's a lot of ways you can implement it.
Yeah. But dude, I can't find that, like, half the shit.
I guess my thinking was that that's kind of almost the only way you can do it and not really fuck things up, because the other options are like civil war or
I think
outside forces. I don't
know. Not to go down the doom porn route again, but I mean I think we are kind of headed towards civil war, because I think that people on the left will continue to push.
But will it really be civil war at first, or will it just be division? Like, because that's the thing, is like, and then I guess that's what got me thinking about it was, okay, so you think about like liberal areas, kind of like the Northeast.
Division.
Right. So then you'd have like these pockets, the Northeast,
but
maybe the Southwest, maybe the tip of the Northwest. So it's like, how could you? It wouldn't be like slavery where there was this divide right down the middle of the. I mean, they set themselves up on that one, right? But really, so I mean, I think what would happen is it would turn into the states initially kind of seceding onto their own and possibly existing maybe even as 50, individual nations. But then at some point devolving to a point where this, basically the rest of the country that has these values, one side pushes the other side and all of a sudden, boom,
No, yeah. I definitely get your point as far as wouldn't it just essentially end up being a division of the country? But I think people on the right would be happy with that. Hey, you nutty people on the left that want to control everyone's lives.
Right.
Just don't do it over here.
Yeah.
You do it in your big megalopolis, and
that's
we'll
the thing,
separate.
Is like, even if there were divisions, people
they won't be happy with that.
Right.
They will say, no, we need to tell you what to do too.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it's so creepy.
I don't know, man. I think humanity is just in a spot that we fucked ourselves up from the beginning. Really, because I was thinking about it, I was like, why? You just, like you and I do, we question things like, why are they done this way? Isn't there better ways? And it's like, just think of how many things are just kind of institutionalized like that, that affect every facet of our life. I mean, every facet.
Well, it's funny. So many people have this idea of government and like, oh, it's here to better us, and it's here for this reason, and it's like, um, really, the origins of government is one person going up to others and saying, you need to do what I say you need to do, or like I'm gonna put you in a box,
Right.
you know. And it's like, I will conquer you. Now give me money, you know, and that's what it is. But I found what I was looking for earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And let me see if I can get back to that tweet, and I'll show my screen again. That's it. That's it. Okay. This is very, I don't think point blank is the word, but this is very good. It's a material, as radio folks say. I don't know. Okay, so this is the one where Trump is like, don't get too comfy. We will, I guess, remove you. I mean, it says removal forces, right?
Yeah.
And then this, it says, lowest border crossing in 2 decades, right? So that's what this guy is saying.
Mm-hmm.
So back in 2000, I don't know what these numbers are, but maybe 500,000 in a year, I guess. But
I don't know, man. If you're having trouble reading it, I can't read it on my end.
yeah, but then if we go here, we have year 200, or let's go year 2018. We have total for the year of over 500,000 apprehensions, and I don't know if people think that like we catch everyone coming across the border, you know, because I don't think we do. So if 521,000 people are being caught each year, and I mean it's up from previous years, but I mean down from a couple. But if we go one more year to what, 2019, check this out. Where is it? I think I can just do this. Probably not, but I think. I know this is some hot talk, dude. Oh shit. Okay, I'm gonna get back to this. Hold on.
Dude, you're gonna get the FBI called on us.
Yeah.
You and your subversive information. Dude, this whole fucking planet's just falling apart.
Yeah.
People are like censoring each other now. I mean, what the fuck, dude?
Okay, so ultimately, what do you think, or like, what's your position on Twitter saying you cannot tweet here anymore?
I don't know, man. It's a tough one because only in the fact that there should be freedom of speech, but at the same time, those are
Okay, so
private platforms.
Well, when the government tells you who you can and cannot hire, and like how you can hire,
so is it the government, or is it just all these
like that's
platforms?
Completely irrelevant. But this is what I say: if they sold their platform as a place for freedom of speech, then that's what they're about, and that's what they have to uphold.
Right.
That's what they have to do. And if they need some kind of compensation, or at least they need to be honest about that, and instead of be a beacon of free speech, be like your little thought factory. You know, this is what we want people to think, or these are the acceptable reports. You know.
So basically, we were able to keep it more or less neutral for quite a while, but now we're just going to go into full-on propaganda mode.
Well, no, I think it's been full on propaganda for a while, but people just didn't see it. You know, it's like when people learned about Watergate, right?
Yeah, but you know what, dude? I mean, I know I'm not disagreeing that the media is anything special, by no means. But don't you think, like, at least if you look at it from a business standpoint in kind of 50s, 60s, middle 20th century America, that marketing had a lot to do with it, and that there was more of an emphasis on that conservative middle America, Midwestern, rural, semi-rural population,
I think overall that was more prominent throughout America, but it was one of those things like the power brokers.
Mm-hmm.
They were already leaning towards the side of authoritarianism.
Oh yeah, but that's my point. Is like it's always been headed that way, but we were just, I don't know. It was almost like we were on our best behavior, and we were able to kind of keep it from totally going that way for quite a while. Just through
Yeah.
circumstance, basically.
Yeah. Okay. So check this out. So we saw fiscal year 2018, we're 521,000. The highest, the highest on here is what, 66,000 maybe.
Okay.
But then we jump up to this year and we see like October 60,000, November 62,000, and these are just the people that they catch at the border. 103,000 in March, 109,000 in April, and it's May now. So who knows? Yeah, so no May figures yet, but I mean, like, holy shit, for this dude here to say lowest. What is it here? Lowest border crossing in 2 decades? Like, yeah, I don't think so. These are unprecedented numbers. This letter that was sent to Trump about not this one, but it's one down here. It was about the border crisis and how hell, I think we probably talked about it. How like we don't need another bucket for this leaky faucet. We need it stopped at the source.
Yeah.
But the fact that this guy basically lies about this puts everything else into question. Undocumented commit less crime. I don't know about that.
That's
like
why I don't buy anything anybody says, man.
Yeah.
That's why I honestly, I just can't waste any thought or emotion on it anymore, because it gets me absolutely nowhere. We should plan a trip to the base camp of Everest.
I heard that there's a lot of trash there.
Yeah.
Is that so?
I was on a trip. I mean, not a trip, but like a kick for a while. I was just tripping on it.
What?
Yeah, I saw, like, I mean, I was kind of reading about it. I was just interested, and then I saw a documentary, and I don't know. It's just a trip to me because it's so fucking harsh up there, dude. I mean, it's almost like the closest you can get to space on Earth. You know what I mean? No, seriously.
Yeah, and you might need oxygen and
well, that's the thing.
Some pressure tent and
well, once you get above the, I forget what they call it, the dead zone. I forget what elevation that is. Basically, like, your body is starting to die. Like, you're in metabolic shutdown just because you're not getting oxygen. And I forget, and it doesn't have to, it has to do with, even if you have oxygen, your body's just burning through its muscle tissue and kind of eating itself up, So, I mean, you can only go up there.
And that's something you want to do?
Not necessarily. That's why I said base camp. I just want to. I think it'd be cool to go, because I mean, even base camp is fucking high. You know what I mean? I don't know. It was just one of those. It's like, that'd be kind of cool. I don't know. But yeah, it's kind of weird. It is trippy that, I mean, there's just all kinds of bodies up there, and yeah, I don't know.
Bodies, like, there's just dead people laying around?
Well, because once you get above, there's certain areas that are just, they're too high. Basically what happens is, in this documentary they were talking about, because like I said, it's above the dead zone. Like, you get above this, and even the Sherpas, the guys that do it all the time,
Yeah.
it takes all of their strength and effort just to get to the top and get back down. And they were talking about there was a couple that were up there or trying to get up there. I don't know if they summited or not, but the lady, she basically gave up, dude. She was like, "Fuck." Oh, and that's what happens. Like you get up there, and because you're deprived of oxygen and stuff, you just kind of get to like, I don't fucking care anymore. You know what I mean? And that's what happens to a lot of people. You just get deprived and
Why
yeah.
would you? Why would you want to risk that?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Oh my god, I sound like an old person.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
I
know.
know that's
It's just a
ridiculous.
trip. I mean, I guess thinking about like how come some people can do it and some people can't. I mean, I know it just takes tremendous amount of physical strength and dedication, but still,
Determination,
yeah. I mean, even
maybe a little craziness.
yeah, but even amongst Sherpas, you know, guys that have done it their whole lives. I mean, some of I forget. There's a guy that's done it like a record
They
number of
look
times.
kind of like mummies.
What?
They look kind of like mummies.
Who?
The Sherpas.
Oh yeah, because their skin's
Yeah, yeah. See,
yeah.
I thought you were thinking that I was nuts for a minute,
No.
and then it hit you, and you're like, oh yeah,
You know
yeah.
what was cool?
Mummies.
Like I got there's this company called Tora Blades, and they make it's actually a British guy who's really into Gurkhas and
No, that is illegal over there.
what?
No knives are allowed in the UK at all, anywhere. You
Okay,
cannot
well,
cut meat or anything.
all I know is he has a British accent, and he's a martial artist, and he's a teacher, and some of the videos he puts up are katas with them. So I don't know if there's a
Oh yeah,
loophole. I think he's a collector. He may have like a certain
a special license.
yeah, because he's got like actual Gurkha artifact like from late 19th or mid late 19th century Nepal and India.
Sweet.
But anyway, so I've got one. But through reading about all that stuff, I was watching these videos, and they were early British videos of the Gurkhas and talking about them. Those fools can't run in a straight line, dude. Like,
What do you mean?
it's the funniest thing. Like something about because they basically have adapted to the mountains, and there's not really any flat surfaces. They're always walking on inclines of some kind. Like they can't run in a straight line. Like they kind of go like, dude, look it up sometime. It's funny as hell, and it's true. But those guys are badass, dude.
Okay, I'll take your word on that one.
No, I'm gonna find it.
That one
Dude.
seems weird.
No, you're gonna laugh, dude, because it's true. You're gonna think I was full of shit, but
Yeah, dude, I thought I was so prepared for today's show where I could like whip out a document and be like, oh, check out these things that I did. But I did this like half-assed retarded hey.
you can't hear that, can you?
What?
You can't hear that, can you?
What?
Oh, I was just watching something. I wanted to make sure it wasn't interrupting.
Oh, oh.
I was trying to find something.
What are you watching?
I was trying to find that video of the fools.
Oh, dude, that Jamie Metzel dude
Uh-huh.
On Joe Rogan.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't buying it.
Honestly, dude, I can't even remember a whole lot about what he writes about, like tech stuff, right?
Yeah, he's like a futurist and all of that.
Oh, that's right, that's right. So, like, what was he saying that was triggering you?
Like just so many people think that like AI is gonna take over the world or something, but I don't know what AI is or what it does or how it would work or the fact that you could just fucking unplug a computer and then we don't have to worry about that computer anymore.
But isn't it kind of like just the argument of like the whole nuclear thing? Like, once you get that genie out of the bottle, like you could have them, and that's kind of what that guy was saying. That was the part. I don't know if it was him or someone else was talking about AI, and they said that talking about all this good stuff, and they don't think there'll be any negative. And it's like, okay, but that's
Yeah,
how it works if you look at it, and everybody has their best intentions, and we all want to change the world. But what about, you don't think that there's people that are going to exploit that the second it goes online? And then not only that, but if it has the actual ability to not only replicate like human intelligence, but also go beyond that and expand and just catalog and uh, I think there's something like that on this new Star Trek show. There's like this
oh
AI that
yeah.
yeah, but the AI is
Is
trying
it
to get
called Data?
no, it's called Control. There's actually two of them,
Oh,
and
are you serious? Control?
yeah, and the other one
Is
like
that
is
chaos?
trying to get this database of all this just information, like thousands or millions of years, and if it got that, it'll basically have all the information it needs, and I don't know, but that's my thing is like it just seems like something that will definitely be exploited because people aren't doing this just to make the world a better place. They could say that, but they're not going to do it if there's no money in it, and there's a lot of money going into it at this point.
Well, I think there's some people that want to do it just to do it, and they don't really care if they get money or not, you know?
Right. So shouldn't the guys have been like, "Oh, we want to split the atom just to say we did it," and but not thinking about what repercussions that would have down the line? I mean,
Um,
and then you got the people that say it's just an inevitability. It's going to happen sooner or later. So,
yeah, that's a good question because if private citizens would have had the atom bomb, couldn't they have had like 10 of those and pretty much fought Hitler, I guess, pretty successfully? I
I don't
mean,
know, maybe. I mean, it would take a tremendous amount of resources, but it's potentially possible.
well, yeah, but if there was an entity that was creating for like a state-run institution, you could just basically conduct espionage and pull from their stock and have it shipped someplace else and get it that way, right?
Okay. Honestly, dude, it's like 12:23. I forgot what we were talking about.
Oh,
I'm sorry. It wasn't
okay.
intentional. You were talking and then something
Oh,
flashed on my phone. I was trying to see what it was.
oh, okay, okay. In
Because
that
it's
case,
12:30 in the morning.
in that case, all that shit that I said was legendary.
I'm sure it was, dude. I expect nothing less.
Let's see if you're familiar with this. Um, this is some bullshit. I think it's this. Okay. That is it.
Do you think it's better to be alive now or like 40 years ago?
Like the point that I am in my life right now, 40 years ago.
No, not necessarily like you as an individual, like a personality, but like just in a time. Like if you could live, I guess as you are now. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, let's
like
even take
if
it one step further. Like if you could take you and your family and either live now or in say 1970, which would you choose?
would I have all of my current memories?
Oh yeah, no, nothing would change. I'm just saying, like, if God came down and gave you a choice that when you woke up tomorrow morning, you know, everything would be just as it is. I mean,
So
you'd
I
wake
would
up and
probably
you'd wake
I
up and your house would be like a 1960s house, but nothing else would change. Everything else would be 1960s and
so I would probably vote to go back to like the 1970s, but I would start the resistance.
so you'd be like Skynet, dude. You go back in time to. That's pretty cool.
to
No,
plant
I don't know,
hope for the
man.
future.
Like, I know that you look at your childhood in the past with rose-colored glasses, but I don't know, man. I just look back then and I think, it's never like it's been easy, but dude, shit was just so much simpler back then, and it really was, dude.
Oh, I know, and that would be a big reason to ask for back then. You
Yeah.
know,
I mean, I think about just like,
but
honestly, dude, I think a
but
lot of shit snuck
also
up on us. Go ahead.
also also if you went back, you would know like, okay, the next 40 years, like I know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I know how to prioritize things in my life where I don't need to worry about XYZ, and I know the stock market's going to go up at this point and property values are going to go up at this point, so you would be much better to like, okay, I might be able to grab onto a small amount of money now, but because I know all that stuff, I'll grow my money. And like,
Oh, see, you're doing the Back to the Future paradox.
well, you said, would I have all my current memories? And you said, yeah, so
Oh, well,
so
I,
like,
I, I didn't mean it
better
that way. I
utilize
didn't
that
mean. I didn't,
and use your success to spread the idea of freedom.
no, I meant I didn't mean like current Darren. I meant like basically if your life just everything is the same except you grew up. You would have been born in whatever 1940
Like,
or
yeah,
30.
like 1937.
Right. But everything else would be more or less the same. You know what I'm saying, dude?
Yeah,
Would you rather live now or
I, I I would rather live now.
really? Why do
Yeah,
you say that?
because certain things are more legal.
Really? Like what?
The freedom, so okay. I've never done this in my life, but Colorado just legalized psilocybin.
Yeah.
The mushrooms and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. So it's one of those things like people are more free, and it's one of those catch 22s where there's a law that says yes you can, where it's more like, should there be something that states that the government doesn't have the right to say that someone cannot do this, you know like it's effectively the same thing in the end, but if you write it one way versus the other, you're like uh, talking about where
Yeah,
the
but
power comes from and where the authority comes from, because it should be the authority from the people and like from common sense.
don't you miss? Like, here's what I kind of miss. I just kind of miss the. There wasn't so much nanny state. There wasn't so much mom controlling.
Oh my God, yes.
Like you had to be not self sufficient. What's the word? Basically, you had to police your own shit.
Yeah, yeah, it was the idea of like
And nobody had to tell
community.
you not to
Well,
walk on the edge of the waterfall or you might fall in, and put signs up and guardrails, and.
yeah, so I think I've heard that one of the reasons that society isn't like that as much these days is because of multiculturalism. And I know this probably isn't the most popular opinion, but um, I've heard that a more diverse society breeds distrust because you don't know if like those people are like you or not. So people tend to put up walls instead of overall be more welcoming. Like, yeah, hey, how's it going? That's
I
nice,
don't
but
know, dude. See,
but
here's
like,
the problem, though. It's like I used to would have thought that way, but like really, the way, and I don't mean like in news media, but I don't know, man. It just seems like normal people out there are really open to like I don't know. It just seemed like there was a point in time, maybe 10 to 20 years ago, where shit was just cool. like
Shit was just cool. Man,
no,
yeah.
like I meant like you think about things like multiculturalism, and it was kind of like we'd reached that point where we're like, all right, we're past this thing where we're like gonna be xenophobic and you know
Yeah, like
just
what the fuck?
bigoted stuff, right? And everybody was cool, man. And it was cool to the point where we could even make fun of each other. Like comedians could like bust on this group and bust on that group, and that was part of what made us like stronger because we could make fun of each other and like be proud to be different, but also be proud to like have mixed families and
Yeah,
hey man.
so yeah.
But then it got all to where like now you have to be like I don't know some I think it started with the whole politically correct thing, and
Oh yeah, like
that was the
political.
first like attempt to kind of tell you how to live, like
Yeah, like the idea of politically correct is, excuse me, they're trying to shape the way you think.
right. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah,
Yeah, for sure,
but now it's morphed
without a
into this
doubt.
whole thought like control. No, I mean not thought control in the sense of that, but like it's just completely warped, dude. It's like um, I don't know, man.
Yeah, yeah. So I would like to like not to just uh, veer too far off, but check this out. This is something that I found. Seems kind of I don't know if disturbing is the right word, but I'm not a fan of it, and it is
You didn't take a picture of your last dump, did you?
now from the Daily Caller. Media media suddenly silent on on importance of free press as Warren declares war on Fox News, and basically she's saying that like Fox News is responsible for creating terrorists, I guess, like a hate for profit racket that gives a megaphone to racists and conspiracists. It's designed to turn us against each other, risking life and death consequences, to provide cover for the corruption that's rotting our government and hollowing out our middle class.
So wait, is Fox
Like,
supposed to be conservative?
yeah, Fox is supposed to be
So
like
now they're trying to
quote unquote on
subvert
the right.
normal, you know. Yeah, it's all, dude. It's fucking like pre-war Germany,
Yeah, but then check this out. Come on, let's go. Okay, so I clicked on this link earlier today, and I have no idea who Jordan is, but it's someone on Twitter. And as soon as this loads, we'll get going. Okay, awesome. Yeah, maybe I should edit this shit out, right?
hmm
Or maybe I should get some wired internet soon.
Yeah, dude. Get yourself an Ethernet, please,
Yeah, that
and
would.
a new set of earbuds.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it's this. So Elizabeth Warren just posted this on Instagram, right? Stop the hate for-profit Fox News and blah 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 blah. Like if you just scroll down and read all of the comments, it's like
Oh, I know, dude. But it's just like,
it's like
what
wow.
what
I don't
what gets
believe
my
it.
blood to boil, or like, I don't know. I always have those things pop up, videos pop up of the people on The View and the shit they say, and it's like, how, it's just absurd. Like, just
Oh
because you
my god,
think
yeah,
that's the way it should be, that doesn't make it the way it should be.
yeah,
And you're
like
not smarter and you're not morally superior because you're in New York.
yeah, like
Whatever.
Joy Behar,
Yeah.
whatever. She, there's a quote with her saying something like, uh, "These excesses in the First and Second Amendments
Mm-hmm.
these days," and it's like, no, that's not how it works,
No. Yeah.
But like, look, oh my God, there's whatever. Like, there's people going nuts about this, and just the idea um, that Fox News, because it has an opposing viewpoint,
Mm-hmm.
is for for hate or for
I know, but that's
profit
what I'm
hate
trying to
group.
say.
I
They're
think it's
trying to.
crazy.
It used to be, there's two sides basically. Let's just call it for what it is. Two sides. This is our team. This is your team. We all pull for our team. Yeah, we get shitty sometimes. Sometimes we go to fisticuffs, but you know what? It's all for whatever. Now it's just like, no, you people are fucking wrong. We're gonna do everything we can to demonize you, basically. You know what I mean? And it doesn't matter if it's true. Doesn't matter
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah. So every now and then at home, I'll make the joke where if like I'm protesting something, I'll just start chanting "Serenity now, Serenity now," and like just the idea of that chant is so counter to serenity, like
Hmm.
it's ironic in and of itself, and that's one reason that I like it so much because it feels like when I'm doing that, I'm kind of making fun of those nut jobs.
A walking contradiction.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about those coughs. Um. Yeah, I think I got those. Hold on. Oh.
Why can't I hear you?
Because
Oh,
I muted it for a minute because I was going to be
it was
coughing.
cool, man. I didn't hear the helicopter noise.
Yeah, awesome, awesome. I was looking for some other stuff that I had, but for some reason I'm not finding it. It's not where I thought it was. You know what? Let me check one other place. It's probably going to be some A material. Just give me a moment.
All right, man.
I mean, it's always A material.
I'm gonna ask if we can wrap it up after this.
Okay.
I'm just
In
getting
that
kind of
case,
punchy, dude. No, but I
yeah.
want to finish that.
Uh,
I just know if I didn't bring it up, we'd go on for another hour. So.
yeah, I know. No, no, that's actually something I need to do. What's this one? I know this quality. Oh, that we kind of did. That's kind of funny. A picture of a prison, and it's like, hey, Hillary, it's a big white house. What difference does it make? No, I thought it was funny. Um, and then, yeah, so that's it. I have no idea where my actual notes are.
It was
But,
totally awesome, though.
yeah, dude, it was A plus plus material.
I believe you, man.
Yeah, yeah. But this week I did start working on a website for us because
Right.
I think with the stuff we talk about, it's only a matter of time before someone's like, uh, these guys do hot talk. We're not going to let them get the million subscribers that we know they can. So we'll go ahead and kick them off now when they have 4 subscribers. You know, so might as well start.
It's the man.
Publicizing a brand instead of the man, right? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stop. I have a
Okay.
feeling that tonight was an utter train wreck. Where last week, I think that we were good and successful. I think some of the camera and audio issues hit
Yeah.
us hard, and we started way later than
Well,
we normally
and
do.
I'm telling you, this week, dude, I was dreading it. Not dreading it, but like usually I really look forward to it. This week I was like, I don't know if I have it in me to do it. Not
Yeah,
that I didn't want to. It was just a long week. It was like it wasn't a bad week. It just at the end it got kind of shitty, and I'm beat.
I I thought it was going to go way better tonight, but I feel like this was a big old
Yeah, we did the best we could.
like a big old turd,
Yeah,
But
it's our turn though.
yeah. Well, hey, it's like we said, the first 100,
Oh
we
yeah, dude.
expect them to be trash.
That's why I ain't even
So
sweating it, dude. We're still learning how to talk to each other and get a rhythm and figure out what the fuck we're gonna talk about.
yeah, yeah. Okay. Peace
Uh,
out.
yeah, man.
Word to your mother.
Peace and love. Peace and love.
Okay. Great things are simple.
Yeah.
but sometimes they're just a train wreck. So,
and tired.
yeah. Okay, peace out.